have to replace 2 valves. This is a bad valve here. Basically, I had to take it apart because it was hitting against the tile wall there to get that off. So I took these parts a piece, all the nut off, got that out of there, and then I was able to screw it off. So we're going to replace this whole assembly with a whole new valve, whole new proper attachment and everything. That's what that is. Alright. Okay. Now, the harder part is this one here. We have to eliminate. Okay, so here we are at this one. We got this bad valve too. We're gonna have to take that out. So I've already prepped some penetrating oil. We're gonna end up cutting it here because there's just no union or nothing to get it apart really. So we're just gonna cut it, and then we'll screw that out over here, and then we could save that link. I could rethread that in, get the new valve on there. Okay, so they did some weird stuff here, like they put, you know, different sides here when it really should have went into straight. It would have made more sense to do straight over and straight down, but I, you know, not being paid to redo all of it, so we're just gonna do that part. Just put a new valve right here on this line. Cut this out, and I'm gonna move it. Try to move it. Actually, it's kind of in the way right there. So we might just want to move it to a more accessible location. So it's the other thing. It's gonna be hard to tie it in right there. So let's do it. Actually, why don't we do this? Yeah, so we're gonna still cut it there, get this pipe out of here, and then we'll be in a position to get that out of there. So, all right, let's roll. All right, here we are. Let's make sure the camera can see me. All right. Let's go ahead and move my bag out of the work area so I don't get stuff all over it. This pipe might probably right here. All right. Okay, we got that cut. Now, what we're gonna do is try to get this out of here. Oh, it's definitely on there, ain't it? I don't give you much room here, do we? There we go. Ah. Yeah. That's what we need. An old breaker bar. And a little bit of, well, we can get it from there. There we go. Boom. That needs clean good. We'll be doing that later. Alright, so here we go. I got the union disabled. We're going to take this whole monstrosity off of here. This is unnecessary, so let's get, looks like we got the thermostat wire hooked up to this too, so let's get that off. Yes. All right, we're getting there now. What else we got left? Tape here. All right. There we go. almost there. Almost home free now. I'm gonna take this whole little piece off. All right, so here we go. We pulled this whole pipe off. I'm gonna get rid of this whole all this whole mess here. We're gonna take all this way, all the way up to here, and we're gonna rebuild this and do it the right way. All right, so that's how we're gonna do it. So, first and foremost, let's get this off the main piece. Alrighty, here we are. Gonna go ahead and build this little piece together for the new stove line. So let's do that first by piecing this together, and then we'll put the whole unit in all in one shot. That's the best way to do this. So let's start with this part. Alright, so we got all that tied together. Let's just clean that up. Clean pipe thread. Alright, here we go. Let's go ahead and get this on. Okay, we'll just rotate that in and then we'll crank it on from there. Alright. That way that holds the bottom pipe in place while I give it a good cranking. Give it one more. Perfect. All right, good. All right, so way to get this is we gotta all right, so we're back to rebuild the pipe. All right, as we know, that's the pipe I cut out, the old valve down there. Get rid of that with a modern brass valve right here, nice and simple. Got all the pipes threaded, everything measured out, and the fittings. All right, so we got to make the connection from here, and we're gonna connect right into that T. So let's start building it up. We're gonna start with the 1-inch pipe, and then we're gonna go to there, and then that's gonna line up with down to that one there, like so. So let's start cranking them in. And we can do while we're down here is get these connections put into the end of this pipe that we need. This is going to be the reducer to from 1 inch to half, like so. So let's go ahead and build that part first. We can build some of it on the ground first. Makes it a little easier when you get it up there. So let's get that going. All right. That out to the 1-inch position. And over here. Alrighty. Try to hold this camera while I show kind of how you turn it. Got the one wrench there holding to one side. We use the other wrench to turn it on nice and tight. Having it really tight is very important. Start getting that in there. Yeah, put it upside down. Great. Alright, so we're getting that nipple in, and we're going to tighten him up, then we're going to put the 90 in. That's going to make the drop. So let's do that. Let's get that put together. All right, let's keep them all rolling. All right. Let's tighten him up a little bit though. Let's do that again. Let's put the wrench in. We'll use a small wrench for this. Oh. So, yeah. That all on the threads all the way around, of course. Alright, looks good. Let's get another glove on. I like to change gloves frequently. Alright, here we go. Here comes the 90. Alright, let's crank him on. Alright, we're going to leave this a little loose so that I can make the final adjustment to angle down. So we're just going to leave all that like that. Alright, and now what we're going to do is go ahead and put him up in there. Alright, so let's go ahead and get this into the 1" 90 up there. Get these threads coated real good. Alright, here we go. Alright, so this is going to go in here. Start feeding him in. Do it by hand at first. Now we're going to crank him real good. Alright, so let me angle the camera there so you can see. Right there? Okay. Alright, let's get that on there. Start rotating that in. When I do that final good tight turn, we will hold the fitting. Alright, starting to get tight. Let's go ahead and hold this nice and tight. I can hold it good and really crank him in. Okay. Go ahead and come around. Now I want to pull it. Really want to get it in there good. All right. final turn over here that we need. Make sure that's just bringing him back around one more time. He'll be good. Get them level. There we go. Looks good. Almost done. Have a look. All right, boom, look at that. So much better. Looks great. All right, let's just wipe some of that up. Okay. Get a little bit of that excess there off. All right, looks good. All right, so we're looking like we're lining up with this one pretty good so far. Let's continue on, get the rest of it done. All right, good. All right, next part we gotta do is a gas valve. That's gonna go right in the middle. Fit it. I like to cover every part of the thread all the way around. Guarantees leak free. Make sure the pipe's clear. We're looking real dandy. All right, let's bring them in. Always hand rotate in first. Looking good like that. All right, now we'll crank them. Let's change gloves again. These got dirty. I like changing my gloves a lot so I don't get too much piped up everywhere. Alright, here we go. Alright, well, let's look at what we got so far. Alright, so let's look at the pipe run. Perfect. And then all we got left now is the union pipe to connect there, and they line up perfectly. So let's go ahead and get that done. This is already loose, so I'm going to clean this and redo this. We'll go ahead and clean all this too, the old union. So let's go ahead and do that next, and I'll come back. All right, so we got that T tied in, coming in. We got the final shot to do with the union. Like so. All right, let's see if I can get a shot on this. All right, so we're gonna bring them down, good and tight. To the gas controller. I want to make sure the unions are good and tight, because they can, one of the biggest points where a leak can happen is that the union needs to be pressed against that metal to metal real good, firm. There we go. Not too much, because you can warp the metal. And that's it. The gas line is complete. All right, let's have a look. All right, we'll just turn that off for now. Boom. All right. All right, so there we are, rebuilt from the Union. See, brought all that in together, joined it up to the 1-inch pipe, and there we go. That's it, all complete.